Hey guys, how's it going? It's Molly. I'm here today to do my next installment of Shop My Stash. So if you guys have not seen these videos from me, I'll give you a little rundown of what happens. I spend the first part of the video talking about what I chose from the last rotation, giving little mini reviews, and then we move on to the shopping portion of the video to choose what I'm going to be wearing in the next 2 weeks. So I do post these every other Friday. That is my goal. Sometimes it's late, it just happens. But yeah, that is what we are here. That is what we're doing here. I'm tripping over my words a lot, so forgive me. Also, you may notice I look a little different. I did my makeup in 5 minutes this morning because I was sucked into the book that I was reading and kind of forgot that getting ready was a thing. We got 14.5 inches of snow here the other day, and which is the most snow since like 1965 in one day. And so it's been school day or snow days. And my daycare closes when there's snow days, and I don't know, I've been working from home, not really worrying about getting ready, and things were all out of whack. So, but I am here on my lunch break. I'm going to stop gabbing. Let's just get into it. Okay. Let's start with the things that I used the most, and then we'll move on to the plethora of items that I barely used or did not use at all. I will tell you right now, I failed. I failed hard this rotation. I did not use many of these things very often at all. Some of them I did not use at all. So forgive me. I would say the thing that I used the most that I chose is this Buxom Quint. It's not a quint. There's 6 shades. Sept? Whatever. This Buxom palette is what I use the most. These are actually really good. The formula of the mattes, they blend really nicely. They're not super, super pigmented, but they build up on themselves very well. So I do enjoy this, and the shimmers are gorgeous. I got so much use out of this shade right here. It's such a pretty taupe. I wish I knew what the shade was called, but I don't know. Can I take it out? How does this work? Yes, I can. I will tell you guys right now. Oh no! It survived. It appears that it has survived. Come back to mommy. Oh, you sweet little baby. Oh, I'm so sorry I dropped you. Okay, it is the shade Mink Magnet. Mink Magnet. Interesting. But it's a very, very beautiful shade. I use that often. I feel like the last couple weeks I wasn't doing my makeup a ton, which is not typical for me. Typically, I mean, even I brought I would do a full face of makeup. This sounds ridiculous, okay? Bear in mind, makeup is self-care. I like doing makeup. I don't do makeup because I feel like I have to. It's not like a societal norm. It's just what I enjoy doing. I did like a full face of makeup when I was in the hospital recovering from my C-section because I just like it. Not every day, obviously. I was very focused on my baby, but dang, if I wanted to just kind of feel better, I did my makeup. Anyway, all that to say, the past couple weeks, life has just been kind of nuts, and I didn't always do my makeup. There were several days that I didn't. So I would say out of the last 14 days, there were only 10 days that I did my makeup. Keep that in mind when I talk about how often I was using these things. So this, I want to say I used it a solid like 5 times, if not 6. Oh, yeah. I was just a very easy, like this mauve shade as my transition shade, and then the Mink Magnet all over my lid, maybe deepening it up with this darker brown shimmer. These are great. If you're not familiar, you can get these at Ulta. It's a build your own palette, essentially. It is definitely more expensive than I don't, it's a fairly expensive way to do build your own palette. You can do build your own palette through ColourPop for a fraction of the cost, but yeah, that's that. I use that a ton. I also used my butter bronzer a lot. It's a classic. People love this thing. I am so bummed that Physicians Formula isn't cruelty-free anymore. I actually really like the smell. It's very, it brings me back. It just makes me feel really nostalgic for like 2018. It's a good year. Was it a good year? I mean, you know, it was a fine year, but this makes me, I love it. I love the finish of it. I am wearing it today, which maybe don't use today's makeup as like any sort of barometer on what looks good. But it's a good bronzer. It blends really well. It's worth the hype. I use that every day because I don't have any other bronzers that I'm playing with right now. The other thing kind of complicating things that I want to mention is I did film like a first impressions video and I was playing with some of that stuff. I also was playing with some of the stuff from my December haul. So there were a few days where I was just using other products. Okay, concealer. Oh no, I used this. Every time I did foundation, I used the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie. I mixed this though with the Physicians Formula Healthy Skin. And it is just kind of a perfect shade match. I don't have any foundation on right now, so not wearing this today, but it is a fantastic foundation. It's definitely full coverage. You want to be careful, but I feel like it's pretty easy to sheer out. You just want to not use quite as much and use a damp sponge if you're wanting more of a sheer finish. The next thing that I used relatively often was this Too Faced concealer. It's the multi-use sculpting concealer. I don't have this on today. I actually recently picked up the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. I think that's part of my January haul. And I have been loving that. That's what I have on today. It's a nice concealer. It really is. In my try on haul, I talk about how like it's fragranced, and it is very fragranced, but I can look past that. So anyways, I would say that I use this probably half of the time. It's a really good concealer also. I don't experience any issues with it. You know, it conceals, it stays, it brightens, and it doesn't seem to lift up in the inner corner like some of my other concealers have in the past. I've mentioned that before. I hate eye boogies. So I just have this like kind of constant, not constant, it's not like a tick, but I frequently make sure that I don't have any eye boogies. So, or I catch them real early on in their eye boogie game. So anyway, when I do that, it causes the concealer to kind of lift up on my inner corner, but I don't notice that with this. So it's a good one. All right, products I did not use at all, right? We've got a lot of, wait, no. Products I used once. This, the Wet n Wild Trio. This is Walking on Eggshells. I'm just going to say it. I don't like Wet n Wild eyeshadows. They're crap. They're not good. Yes, they're cheap, but they're not good. I don't get it. I don't get it. People love these eyeshadows, and I am not people. I do not like them. So, yeah, that's that. Oh, I forgot the Too Faced blush. I did use this a couple of times. I love it. I totally forgot how flipping pigmented this is though. Seriously, a little bit goes a long way. I don't know if I just haven't been using super pigmented blushes lately, but I tapped my brush in and put it on. Oh my, it was way too much. So like tap it once, then tap it off and then blend. And then you can build up if you need to. Do it that way. But these are great. Are these even available anymore? I don't know. I love the packaging though. Can we just talk about how adorable it is? I love all things heart-shaped. Heart-shaped anything. It just pulls at me. It's very nostalgic. I don't know why I've used that word twice now in this video, but it is. The heart shape is very nostalgic for me. All right. Let's talk about lips because I didn't use my lipsticks hardly at all. This one This is the Smashbox Always On, nope, just kidding, Be Legendary lipstick in Punch Drunk. I did use this, and it is a statement lip if I've ever seen one. Now, obviously, I'm wearing a mask when I'm out in public. I'm only wearing this when I'm around, like, family. So I didn't feel the need to use a lot of lip products unless it was just, like, a lip balm, which is why I did not use either of these. I've got the Iconic London Lip Gloss. This is a relatively sticky gloss, and I didn't feel like wearing it under a mask. That just sounded like a bad time. And then this is the Meet Matte Hues liquid lipstick in the shade Charming. This is a fantastic shade. I really like it. It's very similar to what I have on my lips today, which is not this. It is something different. It's the NYX, their new like double-ended liquid lipstick with gloss. I talk about it in one of my haul videos. I don't know which one. December or January, one of them. Anyway, wasn't using a lot of lip products. Now, I also chose a Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. This is a beautiful palette, you guys. I mean, I'm not super crazy about Huda Beauty products, but she definitely has some good ones. Like her liquid lips are good as far as liquid lips go. And this is actually pretty good. That being said, I didn't reach into it super often because I was playing with my Lorac palettes. I did play with these. I have thoughts. We'll get to that. I know I'm like jumping all over the place now because I was going to start with things I used a lot and then work down to things that I never used, but whatever. I don't know what's happening. Let's talk about this. I love this. When the look that I did, I used this shade as my transition, this to deepen things up, and I used this along my lower lash line and kind of smoked it up on the outer V. Amazing. I used it with I don't know what shimmer I used. Oh, I used an Urban Decay single that I got in my December haul. We'll talk about that later, right? Yeah. Spoiler alert, not a fan. Don't like it. But I do love this. These mattes are beautiful. What I remember of the shimmers is that they're fairly good. But I definitely need to play around with this more. So I am going to keep this in for this rotation also because I feel like I didn't do her justice. So that's staying in. Let's talk about these Lorac palettes. Okay. Dang it. I thought for sure I was going to be getting rid of this one. But I kind of want to keep it. The look that I did with this that I like the most is I used this shade as my transition shade. And then I used these to kind of deepen things up, like this on my outer V and then this on the outer V, if that makes sense. And this bunch along the lower lash line. And I used the shade Pearl Slate right here. Get it a little bit closer so you can see it's just kind of a cool toned shade. I don't know. It's pretty. So there it is swatched next to that Buxom shade. Very similar in tone. And but the thing that I'm not crazy about with these shimmers, and I feel like I mentioned this last time, is they're just not what I'm looking for. They're not creamy. They're not super sparkly. They're fine, but I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to get too much use out of them. Because I don't know, they just don't, I don't know that they do it for me. But the mattes are really good. But the question is, do I need both of these, right? Because I know for a fact that I prefer this one better. I have used these shades here, these like purpley shades. I've used those for a purple look. I feel like one thing that I don't like about this one is these super light shades. They don't do it for me at all. But then again, it's got this really pretty unicorn shade. What do you look like? I know that I've used it. Oh, it's kind of boring. So this one right here, it just looks like a super light shimmer. I think it's supposed to be a duochrome, but it doesn't pan out that way. Anyways, I think I like this one a lot better. So if I'm going to choose one to keep, it would be this one. I don't know that I'm there yet. I need to still film my declutter. That is coming. I just don't know when, but it is. So what I like about this, you've got cool tones, you've got warm tones, you've got some fun pops of color. You can lay down a really nice base with these mattes and then pull shimmers from other palettes that you want to use. I just really do prefer this one. So my goal was to gather enough information to definitively say how I feel about these palettes, and I feel like I've done that. Okay, next, NYX Vivid Brights Pillow Talk. I didn't use this. I didn't use this at all. I feel somewhat intimidated by it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm wondering though, would this work? This feels really dry, and I know I mentioned that in my original video. Yeah, that's super dry. I think that needs to just go in the trash. Because there it is swatched, and it's, I don't know, it's patchy. It's super patchy. It's very, very dry. So I think that's going bye-bye. I just had a feeling that if I tried to use it, it was going to ruin my makeup. So I just never did. I didn't have the guts to do it. All right, next we've got this Cover FX blush duo. Monochromatic blush duo in the shade Pink Dahlia. I didn't use it. It's really pretty. I want to use it. I'm keeping it in for my next rotation. Okay, and then we've got the Over Highlight. This is the shade Star Island. I always want to say Blissful. It's not Blissful, but this is so pretty. Oh, it's such a pretty, like, light champagne pearl shade. It's this guy right here. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful highlight. It reminds me a lot of Mirror Luminizer by The Balm. So if you have that one, I feel like it's a pretty good dupe. Shade dupe. I mean, it's not cheaper by any means, but whatever. Anyway, I like this. Do I want to keep it in for this rotation? Or I've been using, the reason I didn't use this is because I've been using my Project Pan highlighter, the Wet n Wild one. Precious Petals, maybe? I feel like I might be making that up, but I think that's right. I use that almost every day. I'm trying to get through 100 uses by May 1st, and I'm gonna do it. I've only got like 39 uses of that left until I've reached 100. So I guess I could keep this in for this coming rotation and focus on this mostly instead. I am gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna keep the Over Highlight in also. So the things that I'm keeping in are the Cover FX Blush Duo, the Over Highlight, and Mercury Retrograde. So these three things. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the shopping portion of the video. All right, you guys, so I've got my Project Pan items over here. So these are obviously gonna stay. And then I also have these 3 items that I wanted to keep in. I did forget to mention in the first part of the video about this Glassy Skin primer by Touch in Soul. I used this once. I really enjoy it, and I think I might just go ahead and keep this in as well. Okay. Also, I've been using this Catrice Liquid Camouflage. I got this in my January haul, and I really enjoy it. I mentioned that earlier as well, so I think I'm just going to keep this as my concealer. All right, let's take a look at eyeshadow palettes. So Valentine's Day is coming up, and I'm kind of a sucker for it. So I think I want to grab the Natasha Denona Love palette as my eyeshadow palette. I've also been really wanting to use my Tartelette in Bloom palette. We're getting my son baptized this weekend, and I feel like this would be a great option for something a little bit more neutral and, I don't know, church appropriate. So we're going to bring this in. I love this palette. My oldest got me this for Christmas a few years ago, and it is really, really nice. Okay, so we're good on eyeshadow palettes. Okay, blush. I don't know that I'm going to grab another blush. I'm realizing that I think I'm grabbing too many things, and that's why I have so many things that I don't end up getting to. So I've got my Cover FX blush. I've also got my Marc Jacobs blush, so I think I'm good. Bronzer. Let's grab a bronzer. I'm going to pick the Baked bronzer. I have raved about this and I'm excited to start using it again. Okay, so I've got two highlighters that I'm using now. The Ofra one that I kept in and my Wet n Wild Precious Petals. So I also don't think I'm going to grab a highlighter. This might be like the most boring Shop My Stash ever, and I am sorry. Oh, I do know for the foundation, I'm going to want something that this Pure 4-in-1 Correcting Primer works really well with. So I'm going to pull this in. Kind of want to see if the Glassy Skin Primer works well with it also. But yeah. Do I want any eye singles? Once again, I never got around to organizing this. It is what it is. Yeah. Okay. I am going to grab, good God, whatever. I'm going to grab this Urban Decay. This is one of the Moon Dust shadows in the shade Zodiac. It's a really pretty, like, sparkly green, which does not go with the eyeshadow palettes that I got, but we'll make it work. Okay. Okay. The foundation that I want to use is the Bite Beauty Changemaker foundation. I do not like this on its own, but with the right primer, it works really well. And I did say last time that I wanted to grab a face palette, and I am thinking it's going to be this Lorac one. It's gorgeous. So I'm excited to play with that. Okay. And finally, let's grab some lips here. So I usually grab a gloss, a nude, and a more like vibrant statement lip. For my nude, I'm going to get this Physicians Formula. This is the Healthy Lip, and I don't know the shade name because it has worn off. But we got that. And I might also grab this. It's not a statement lip, but that's fine. This is the Profusion Matte Lip Cream. It's pretty good. And I should probably grab a gloss to top it with because, yeah. For that, I'm just going to get this Marc Jacobs gloss. It's in the shade Sugar Sugar. So we're good with lips. All right, so this is what I'm going to be playing with for this rotation. I think I definitely pared down a little bit, but I'm not mad about it. I think it'll be nice to just focus on a few select items instead of overwhelming myself with a bunch. All right, you guys, that is it for my Shop My Stash. I am so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.